Purr, those things are. Hound. The three guys next to Manold saw the hunting dogs baring their teeth and were so scared that their bodies tilted their heads to the side. Manold, on the other hand, appeared very calm. He put his hands in his pockets and sat down. On the ground quickly said, "This is the first time I've seen them so close." Manold thought about the image of two animals he had often seen before. Why were they so afraid? They were equivalent to Maltese dogs or Chihuahuas. At this moment, a man came and shouted loudly, "You rookies, why are you so afraid? Those are the monsters you need to confront." Hearing that, a rookie asked in fear, "You want me to face them?" The male commander said, "You will form a team of 4 recruits to enter the transformed dungeon. All teams will fight with a hunting dog for 1 hour and return here. If you're injured, increase your core strength. If you're scared, use your mind to focus on fighting them." Is everyone clear? Everyone stood at attention and shouted loudly, "Yes, we understand." Then go quickly, evil teacher Lee Sung-ho aka said with his hands on his hips, "Go up one by one." This is the exclusive protective armor of the MYD-2 Hunter Corps, produced for the purpose of body mechanical protection, extremely rough and heavy design. As soon as he put on the MYD-2, the bald guy immediately said, "Don't they give us anything else besides this?" The guy next to him exclaimed, "I think my leg is about to break." On the contrary, the Manold picked it up. I thought to myself, this thing is not comfortable and has no effect other than protecting the body. This thing costs 50 million. They must have really used it carefully because it's so expensive. I can smell their sweat and passion. What an item with a great aura. I don't like it. Manold immediately went up to the lieutenant and asked, "Lieutenant, I have a question. If we can defeat the wolves quickly, can we take off these clothes or not?" Can the lieutenant, a little surprised, then turned around and asked, "Wow, why are you so arrogant?" When the lieutenant turned around, he exclaimed, "Ah, is it you? Ah, if you want. But remember, this is a team training session. You can't just excel alone. Let's see if our rookie first place Kim Minjun can stand by his teammates or not." Manold thought, one team training session. The bald rookie behind Manold held a small knife and said, "How can we confront hunting dogs with only this?" The guy next to him quickly replied, "We need to have a plan." Plan. Manold touched his chin, his face thoughtful and thoughtful. "It's simple. I just need to tell them how to defeat the hound, right?" Immediately turned to the 2 rookies in front of him and said, "Hey, listen to me. I will present my plan." The rookie asked in surprise, "What is your plan?" Manold said, pulling his arms forward, "The hound will jump towards you to kill you. When they do, don't be afraid and grab their legs and break their back in half. If the gap is that wide, they will die, but if it is still alive, then fold it in the opposite direction and tear it apart, like people tearing kimchi." Okay. Manold's plan made the 2 guys in front of him look confused. What the hell were they thinking? Manold said. "Let go." The sergeant's voice rang out immediately. Teacher Lee Sung-ho aka climbed up and took off the lock on the iron door. The growling sound of the hounds were continuously hissing. Suddenly, the hunting dogs rushed out like lightning, their eyes shining brightly in the middle of the day. This group of hounds suddenly turned towards the dungeon. The new recruits saw this scene and said in surprise, "They went to the dungeon instead of attacking us." The Manold immediately said, "They were taken away all day and their house just appeared. Why don't they go home?" Yes. Manold's explanation made the other 2 guys happily say, "Oh, that makes sense. I think it makes a lot of sense. How do you know the psychology of those monsters so well? Please tell me." Suddenly, a commander and 2 eunuchs walked up to the 3 Minolds and said, "You guys are joking and laughing on this sacred training ground. Do you want to die?" "Okay, Lieutenant, it's been decided. The first team to enter will be you guys." As soon as I heard it, everyone was scared to the point of sweating except Manold and exclaimed, "We are the first team." The teacher immediately held up his stick, shouted, and entered. Come in. 4 people led by Manold contain all the emotions: anger, fear, doubt, optimism. "There is only one step left to enter the dungeon," Manold said. "Well, it will be fine. If I can take off this heavy and dirty clothes as soon as possible, I will welcome them with open arms. Expand. Are you sure?" Beep. The call is transmitted. The commander said, "The training team has begun. Prepare. Control the situation if things go beyond control and the recruits are in danger." Inside the ice prison, 2 prison officers received the commander's request and immediately responded, "Understood, Lieutenant." The teacher immediately noticed through the crack in the rock. He immediately saw Minold's group. "Corporal Kim Ho-jun, the new recruits have arrived. There is a team of 4 people. There are no other parties." The teacher behind asked, "Is there anything else?" Something made the teacher open his eyes wide and look. That name goes with him, Kim Minjun. The teacher thought to himself, "Are you here, Kim Minjun, the special object that needs attention, the rookie who showed the most outstanding strength in that round? His scores over the past 4 weeks have been excellent, but will he be able to stand out in this dungeon?" There were 2 hunting dogs running quickly along the cliffs behind the Minolds. Manold felt it and thought to himself, are they ready to go? They are definitely very impatient. I could end it all by breaking their heads when they pounce, but my other teammates don't have any fighting experience, right? Manold made a stop sign and said, they are coming here. The rookie walking behind asked, what is coming? Manold smiled and said, what do you think if it was a group? Screaming, the hunting dogs were rushing madly. Manold's 3 teammates immediately exclaimed in fear, they are here. On the contrary, Manold was not embarrassed at all. He clenched his hands into fists and said, don't be afraid, the armor protects you. Ours is very sturdy. I think I'll be the one to go first. You guys, whoever wants to go in will go first. The 3 hounds divided into 3 sides to attack the Mynolds. The hunting dog in the middle chose Manold as the target. It immediately rushed forward and bit Manold. Manold immediately moved aside. He raised his fist and asked, is it you? Bang! Mynold's punch immediately made the hunting dog lie flat on the ground. The hunting dog's mouth opened wide, its tongue also stuck out. It was officially killed by death. Having just finished dealing with a hunting dog, Manold noticed a cry for help from his teammates. Manold came to relieve the siege, when the hound noticed. Bang! A kick from Manold immediately sent the hound flying. Hit the wall hard and of course it died immediately. Manold said, if they bite you, you have to fight back. They will think you are small prey if you keep being afraid. The bald rookie immediately replied, yes, I understand. Hearing that, Manold asked, why did you using honorifics when we're teammates? The bald man quickly said, sorry. If the situation from before had happened, the 2 of you would have died. We outnumber them, so let's use it as an advantage and put pressure on them. That's right, if you put pressure on them, they will be terrified. Keep pressing them and wait for them to calm down. Standing to the side, the 2 instructors observing the battle said in disbelief, is he really just a rookie? Are you talking about Kim Minjun? Normally, the rookie's fear would keep them from doing anything, but with Kim Minjun's guidance, they were freed from fear. Could that guy be the Hunter Corps sergeant who reincarnated the day before he enlisted? The guy next to him observed and replied, such things only happen in novels. Anyway, he not only tried to solve them with his strength, but he has the ability to lead by encouraging his teammates and cooperating with them. So Kim Minjun deserves top marks. The remaining names will receive average scores. When they finished dealing with the hunting dogs, those 2 teachers immediately came out and said, good job, you guys go this way. On the way, Manold asked, can I get my vacation yet? The official said, shut up, do you think we will tell you? Manold said, do you guys care about the new recruits? You guys are like a big sundeer. The name sundeer makes the teacher only listen but not understand anything about it. The footsteps of the leader suddenly stopped. Small pieces of stone in the dungeon suddenly fell. This situation makes the teachers also feel uncomfortable. That's Corporal Kim Hojun, the teacher behind him quickly said, quickly turning on the radio to broadcast outside. The bald rookie asked, did something unexpected happen? Was there an earthquake? Manold said, it wasn't an earthquake. It's a transforming dungeon. It's just transforming for the time being. The bald man continued asking, so what will happen? Wait. Exit, it's closing on its own. Kim Minjun stood before the attack of the Dark Hound and said, anyway, I'm glad to see a familiar face. Having finished speaking, Minjun went down and said, now. Thank you for the meal. As soon as he finished speaking, Minjun punched the Dark Hound and flew it 10 meters away. After that attack, the Dark Hound was unconscious. Only a few teeth remained. His body radiated dark energy. Minjun recognized it and said, this is your dark energy. The blood of the Dark Hound also followed the dark energy that covered the cave. Kim Minjun exclaimed, the smell of blood was still as disgusting. Dark energy was thick in the cave. Minjun saw that and raised his hand to say, huge dark energy poured out after it died. That's why Dark Hounds are so difficult to defeat, because its blood is poisonous. When normal people continue to fight, exposed to it, their skin would rot. After that, Kim Minjun immediately absorbed the rich dark energy in the cave. When absorbing that power, Kim Minjun's left hand bulged and many red blood vessels appeared. Minjun said, of course, excluding the black magician. At this moment, red veins also appeared on Minjun's face. At the exit, the recruits and preceptors saw the exit closed and panicked. One recruit asked loudly, what the hell is going on? The teacher picked up the walkie-talkie and said 2 words, damn. Kim Minjun normally looked at the rookies and teachers in panic and thought, I guess it's too late to leave now. The exit is getting smaller quickly. Minjun thinks, this is not good. The teacher held the radio and shouted loudly, Corporal Kim Hojun, the radio was not working. The dungeon changed too quickly. Hojun asked, it will take more than a month for the structure inside the dungeon to change again. Why? Like this again. Then, the officer holding the radio said, let's evacuate the kids to a safe place first. Instructor Hojun approached the 3 new recruits kneeling on the ground and said, As you can see, there was an unexpected incident in the dungeon. Hojun continued, but don't worry, we'll wait here for an hour and see if the connection opens again or not. After hearing this, the 3 new recruits were talking. Really, we only need to wait an hour to get out. That's Ottits, I thought we would be stuck here, I was so scared. Hojun heard his father say that and smiled awkwardly. Ha ha, I bet the people outside are also looking at the situation. The lieutenant will come up with a suitable solution, so all we need to do is to wait calmly instead of worrying. Kim Minjun heard the teacher say that and whispered, is that so? Minjun looked around thinking that the reason they continued to train here was because they were sure that this dungeon would not have any unexpected situations like this. An unexpected, ominous situation when the entrance to the dungeon was suddenly closed. The teacher held the walkie-talkie and tried to communicate for a while but to no avail, so he went to Kim Hojun and called, Corporal Kim Hojun. Kim Minjun saw the 2 instructors whispering to each other and immediately thought that, as he thought, the instructors were aware that the situation didn't seem too good. They reacted calmly, but maybe there was no real instructions. What's the point in situations like this? The officer holding the walkie-talkie whispered to Kim Hojun, Corporal Kim Hojun, you're going. Hojun stopped you. Wait, go somewhere else. Kim Minjun thought, if this dungeon turns into a closed dungeon, it might be harder to defeat than I thought. But it's just a complicated situation, not the worst, because I have here. After leaving to another place, the 2 teachers talked to each other. The teacher held the walkie-talkie and said, yes, this is the worst-case scenario. Kim Hojun thought and said, I'm sure you already know, this dungeon has turned into a closed dungeon. The remaining teacher heard that and was startled and asked, what? The remaining ecclesiastes heard about the closed dungeon and suddenly gasped and said, if it is a closed dungeon, oh wow, is it really a closed dungeon? Really? No one warned about this? Hoju immediately asked, you bastard, don't you have any idea what you were going to say just now? Kim Hojun explained to the remaining teacher, there are 2 cases when the dungeon entrance disappears. The first is the dungeon disappears, the dungeon will automatically disappear after being defeated. And in the second case, the dungeon is closed, the gate disappears when an outsider enters. When we were in the dungeon it had transformed into a closed dungeon, which does mean the gate was gone, and surely more monsters will appear. The only way to escape the dungeon closure is defeating each monster in the dungeon. The teacher asked Kim Hojun, that is. Kim Hojun replied, yes, there is no way to receive support from outside. Teacher Kim Hojun thought, 4 new recruits with no actual combat experience and 2 teachers. The 6 of us have to conquer this dungeon. Kim Hojun turned around and thought to everyone, just as I thought. Since informing him of the actual situation, they all became tense. Then, Kim Hoju looked at his hands and thought, we don't know what monsters have appeared. If we're unlucky, this could be the end for all of us, but we can't just sit still. We have to keep moving while we are still full of energy. It would be better if the teachers were fully equipped. With this situation, just the goblins will be enough to destroy our group, because it will take me more than 10 minutes to defeat one. The most feasible and realistic plan is. Kim Hojun turned his head to look at the new recruits and thought, take advantage of the protective suits that the new recruits were equipped with, those heavy and stupid suits. If you use defense and let the new recruits go first, the priest can defeat the monsters when they are held back by them. But until now, these bastards have trusted us and endured the grueling training process, acting as seniors while using their juniors as meat shields. My self-esteem won't allow it. After walking for a while, a new recruit walking in the middle of the line said, we're already in the last week of training and still having a dungeon incident. Suddenly Kim Minjun noticed something. Kim Minjun stopped and looked around. The last teacher saw Minjun looking around and was surprised. The teacher asked Minjun, is there a problem, Rookie Kim Minjun? Suddenly there was a loud scream from the front line. Kim Minjun and the teacher immediately noticed. The new recruit near the end was scared. Kim Hojun, who was in the lead, was having difficulty breathing. He hugged his neck. The rookie in the lead shouted loudly, teacher. Kim Hojun foamed at the mouth and passed out. Big veins appeared on his face. The rookie in the lead saw this and screamed in fright, ah. The teacher in the back saw that the teacher Kim Hojun in the front was like that, so he quickly ran over and called. Corporal Kim Hojun and Kim Minjun saw this and stopped the teacher in the back from running up. Don't run. But it's too late. Minjun said, now I can run. There was no way to save him. As soon as the teacher at the end ran to Kim Hojun, he immediately collapsed. The recruits saw this and called out loudly to ask, teacher, are you okay? Kim Minjun walked from the back and told the 3 remaining rookies, everyone, to stay back. If you come any closer, you will face the same situation. Kim Minjun approached the 2 magistrates but didn't react like them. Minjun observed the 2 magistrates and whispered, it's not serious, they just fainted, I'm not surprised. Kim Minjun raised his head and looked ahead thinking, I think I smell a familiar smell. Minjun picked up 2 spears and threw them at the 3 new recruits behind him. "Hey, catch them." Then Minjun said, "Don't follow me, just stand near the exit." A new recruit is worried. "Huh, where are you going? Stop, it's dangerous, even the teacher has fainted." Minjun still went deeper despite the rookie's warnings. "You might die, are you crazy? Come back, Kim Minjun." Kim Minjun ran fast and thought to himself, "I'm so excited I could die, it really exists on Earth." The dark energy was the reason why the two teachers fainted. Minjun smiled happily and thought, it's not surprising that the awakened teacher also fainted. Even the Isgard people are covered with a special protective layer, to protect them from dark energy before facing the monsters. It is more dangerous for the average person, however. For black magicians, dark energy is equivalent to a charger for a dead phone. After a while of running, Kim Minjun ran to the place where the dark energy was coming from. Minjun shouted loudly, "Here it is, the source of dark energy is billowing." Minjun entered the place where the dark energy was emitting. The stalactites had turned from green to purple. Minjun stood on a stalactite and observed, thinking, "It's so quiet, I can't find any traces of monsters around here." However, Kim Minjun raised his head and looked above his head. The dark hound was clinging to a large stalactite to hide high up. Kim Minjun raised his head and said, "Do you think you can hide in front of the black magician with such a strong smell of dark energy?" Kim Minjun touched his chin and said, "I didn't think I'd see you here, dark hound." Dark hounds, of course they cannot be equated with dogs because of their name. They are a species that is completely overwhelming compared to regular hunting dogs. I think the first time I met this bastard was about a year after I was summoned to Isgard. I almost died because I had never seen such a monster on Earth and I tried to attack it.